Many people do not understand why those who are set apart, the chosen ones, often struggle with friendships, relationships, and even basic connections with others. The truth lies in the energy they carry and the divine purpose that surrounds their very existence. From an early age, they can sense that they are different, and others can sense it too. This difference is not something that can be hidden, no matter how much they may try to fit in, to blend in, or to be accepted by the crowd. Their aura radiates something powerful, something divine, something that carries weight, and because of this, people are either drawn to them with curiosity or pushed away with discomfort and jealousy. When you carry an energy that is not common, people cannot help but respond to it, whether consciously or unconsciously, and most of the time that response is not acceptance but resistance. Chosen ones often find that in classrooms, workplaces, and social gatherings, they are noticed without even trying. Their silence speaks louder than the noise of others. Their presence alone can shift the atmosphere of a room. This is not something they deliberately cause, it simply happens because of the frequency they vibrate on. When you are aligned with purpose and destiny, when you carry light inside of you, darkness cannot remain comfortable in your presence. People who have hidden insecurities, hidden agendas, or unhealed wounds often cannot stand too close to those carrying divine energy. It exposes them, it agitates them, and it makes them feel as though they are being judged, even when the chosen one has said nothing at all. This invisible barrier often leaves the chosen one standing alone, unable to form the same easy bonds that others around them seem to create effortlessly. The uniqueness of the chosen one is not always celebrated but instead often resisted. Friends may initially be drawn to them, fascinated by their wisdom, their creativity, or their quiet strength, but as time goes on, jealousy begins to creep in. People begin to question why this person seems favored, why they carry resilience in the midst of storms, why blessings find their way to them even after setbacks. This silent comparison breeds envy, and envy quickly turns into distance, betrayal, or rejection. The chosen ones, who would never harm anyone intentionally, often find themselves left behind by those they once called friends. They realize that no matter how much they give, how much they support others, the same loyalty is rarely returned to them. This cycle becomes more painful when it comes to relationships. A chosen one carries a depth of love that is not ordinary. They do not love halfway, they pour out fully, sincerely, and completely. But most people are not prepared to receive love at that level. Many enter relationships seeking validation, convenience, or temporary comfort, but the chosen one seeks connection, truth, and alignment with purpose. Because of this, partners may initially admire the intensity of their love but soon become overwhelmed by it, unable to handle the responsibility that comes with being connected to someone so deeply rooted in destiny. This often leads to heartbreak, misunderstandings, or sudden abandonment. The chosen one wonders why people leave so suddenly, why their loyalty is not matched, why their sincerity is not valued. And yet the truth is that their love is simply too rare for the unprepared heart to handle. Carrying divine energy is both a gift and a burden. It attracts people who want to take but rarely those who want to give. Many are drawn to the light of the chosen one because it warms them, it heals them, and it gives them clarity, but once they have taken what they need, they often disappear. This leaves the chosen one in solitude again, questioning themselves, wondering if they are the problem. But the problem is not them, it is the incompatibility between their higher frequency and the lower vibrations of those who are not walking the same path. The world is full of people who crave temporary pleasures, shallow connections, and material validation, but the chosen one is designed for deeper things, for eternal truths, for divine purpose. This mismatch creates isolation, as though they are walking in a crowd but never truly seen, never truly understood, never truly embraced. What adds to this solitude is the spiritual weight the chosen one carries. Their assignment requires focus, discipline, and separation. When destiny is pulling you toward greatness, Distractions cannot remain around you. Friend groups that waste time on gossip, negativity, and empty pursuits cannot hold the attention of a chosen one. Relationships that are rooted in lust, convenience, or shallow attraction cannot sustain someone who is being shaped for divine greatness. So, even if the chosen one tries to maintain those bonds, life itself begins to separate them. Situations unfold that cause people to leave, doors to close, and circles to break apart. At first, this feels painful, as though everything and everyone they cared for is slipping away. But in reality, it is the hand of destiny removing what does not belong in their journey. The misunderstanding of a chosen one also fuels their loneliness. They may speak with wisdom beyond their years, see visions others cannot comprehend, or sense truths others ignore. Instead of being celebrated for this insight, they are often mocked, dismissed, or silenced. People accuse them of being strange, too serious, or too deep. Because of this, they learn to withhold parts of themselves, to keep their thoughts and visions private, which deepens the feeling of being alone. They crave someone who can understand them, someone who can see what they see, someone who can connect with them on a soul level. But such people are rare and often only come later in their journey. Even family members can feel the difference in the chosen one and respond with resentment or favoritism toward others. A chosen one may feel like the black sheep in their household, constantly misunderstood, constantly criticized, constantly set apart, while others in the family may be praised, accepted, and supported. The chosen one faces rejection or neglect. This early isolation conditions them to walk alone, to rely not on people but on the divine source that guides them. Though painful, this prepares them for the independence required to fulfill their purpose. It is also important to recognize that the aura of a chosen one is a mirror. It reflects to people what they truly are, whether they want to see it or not. Someone who is insecure will feel threatened by their confidence. Someone who is dishonest will feel exposed by their truth. Someone who is bitter will feel uncomfortable in the presence of their joy. Because of this, people unconsciously distance themselves. They may not even realize why they cannot stay connected. They just feel unsettled and decide to move away. This repeated pattern leaves the chosen one questioning why connections never last long, why friends fade away, why relationships collapse. But it is simply because most people cannot endure the mirror effect of their presence. The higher calling of a chosen one cannot be understood by those who are living ordinary lives. Their struggles, their sacrifices, their devotion, and their inner battles make them stand out, and standing out often leads to standing alone. They are not designed to walk in the crowd but to lead, to guide, to inspire. And that role often requires separation from the masses. While others are busy chasing pleasures, the chosen one is busy cultivating wisdom. While others are consumed with fitting in, the chosen one is consumed with fulfilling destiny. This creates a natural gap between them and everyone else, a gap that cannot be bridged by surface-level friendships or shallow romances. Only those who are aligned with the same purpose can truly walk beside them. And such people are few and far between. The path of a chosen one is not an ordinary path, and with that calling comes a level of solitude that cannot be avoided. Separation and isolation are not punishments but necessary stages of preparation, because greatness cannot be built in the middle of constant noise and distraction. A chosen one's spirit requires room to breathe, space to grow, and silence to hear the whispers of divine guidance. Unlike others who can surround themselves with countless friends, distractions, and entertainment, those who are chosen are pulled away from the crowd, often without understanding why. At times it feels like rejection, at times it feels like abandonment, but in reality it is protection. The solitude shapes them, builds them, and equips them for the mission that lies ahead. A mission that cannot be fulfilled if they are entangled in meaningless relationships and shallow attachments. A chosen one's journey demands inner strength, and strength cannot be built without testing, without stillness, and without endurance. When you are surrounded by people constantly, it is easy to lean on them, to depend on their voices, to hide behind their presence. But when you are alone, you are forced to look inward, to face your own fears, to confront your insecurities, and to discover the hidden power that lies within. Solitude strips away the noise of the world and leaves you with only yourself and the divine presence guiding you. It is in this silence that wisdom is birthed, that resilience is formed, and that clarity is sharpened. Many cannot understand why the chosen one spends so much time in reflection, in silence, in separation, but it is because their path requires it. They cannot afford to live the same distracted, careless life that others do because their purpose is too great to be wasted. The solitude of the chosen one also serves as a filter. Not everyone is meant to walk beside them. Not everyone is capable of carrying the weight of their calling. By being set apart, the chosen one learns who truly belongs in their life and who was only there for convenience. Those who cannot endure the seasons of isolation are not meant to be part of the destiny that lies ahead. Many people love the idea of being close to greatness but are unwilling to endure the sacrifices that come with it. They may enjoy the light of a chosen one for a season, but when the shadows of trials and tests appear, they vanish. Separation allows the chosen one to see this clearly and prevents them from dragging along people who are not meant to finish the journey with them. There is also a spiritual training that takes place in solitude. Just as a soldier trains away from the battlefield, so too does a chosen one train away from the noise of the crowd. This training is not always physical but often mental and spiritual. They are taught to discern, to pray, to meditate, to listen deeply to intuition. They are taught to find peace in silence and strength in stillness. These practices would be impossible if they were constantly surrounded by chatter, drama, and chaos. The separation becomes a sacred space where transformation occurs. It is where a chosen one's identity is molded and their vision for the future is revealed. While others may waste years chasing temporary pleasures, the chosen one is being built in the quiet, preparing for a destiny that will eventually require everything they have learned in their solitude. During this time of separation, many chosen ones struggle with feelings of loneliness. They look at others who have large circles of friends, families that seem united, relationships that appear fulfilling, and wonder why they were denied these same experiences. But what they must understand is that their loneliness is not emptiness, it is space being cleared for what is truly meant for them. If their lives were cluttered with the wrong people, the right ones would never have room to enter. Their solitude is not evidence of lack but evidence of divine alignment. Only those who are equally aligned, equally devoted, equally strong, will be able to join them, and until then, they are kept alone so that they are not distracted or delayed. The process of being set apart is not easy, and many resist it at first. They try to hold on to friendships that no longer serve them, relationships that drain them, and environments that no longer align with their purpose. But no matter how hard they try, things begin to fall apart. People leave unexpectedly, betrayals occur, relationships crumble, and doors close. At first, it feels like loss, but eventually, they come to see that it was protection. Every disconnection was orchestrated to protect their energy, their purpose, and their destiny. Those who could not understand them, those who drained them, those who held them back, were never meant to stay. Solitude becomes the evidence that they are being refined, pruned, and prepared for something far greater than what they left behind. It is also in solitude that the chosen one learns true independence. They learn not to rely on the validation of others, not to be swayed by opinions, not to seek approval from the crowd. When you have no one to cheer for you, you learn to cheer for yourself. When you have no one to lean on, you learn to stand tall. When you have no one to encourage you, you learn to draw strength from within. This independence becomes one of the most powerful tools they carry, because when the time comes to step into their destiny, they will not be easily shaken by rejection, criticism, or opposition. They will have already been trained to stand alone, and that strength will carry them through battles others could never endure. The solitude also teaches patience. In a world that is constantly rushing, constantly chasing instant gratification, the chosen one learns the value of waiting. They learn to trust divine timing, to understand that everything happens when it is meant to, not when they want it to. This patience is cultivated in the stillness, in the waiting seasons, in the times when nothing seems to be happening. While others may see these seasons as wasted time, the chosen one knows that waiting is preparation. The seed grows in silence before it breaks through the soil, and so too does the chosen one grow in hidden seasons before they are revealed to the world. Without solitude, this process could never take place, and they would not be ready when their moment finally arrives. Another aspect of separation is protection from contamination. When you are destined for greatness, your spirit cannot afford to be entangled with negativity, gossip, drama, and toxic influences. The crowd often operates in lower vibrations, filled with envy, anger, and selfish desires. By being pulled away, the chosen one is shielded from these energies that could taint their spirit or distract them from their purpose. It is not that they think they are better than others, it is that their calling demands purity of heart, clarity of mind, and focus of spirit. To maintain this, they cannot immerse themselves in environments that would drain their light or cloud their vision. Separation is the shield that preserves their purpose until the time comes for them to shine fully. The solitude of a chosen one also allows them to develop creativity and vision that would otherwise be drowned out by the noise of the world. Great inventions, groundbreaking ideas, and divine revelations are often birthed in silence. When no one else is around to fill the space with chatter, the chosen one hears the whispers of inspiration clearly. They are able to write, create, build, and imagine without interference. The world may not understand what they are doing in these hidden seasons, but later it becomes clear that the seeds planted in solitude grew into something extraordinary. Without separation, these gifts would have been stifled or lost in the distractions of ordinary life. Finally, the solitude of a chosen one is the place where they learn who they truly are. When you strip away the voices of friends, the expectations of family, the demands of relationships, and the influence of society, you are left face to face with yourself. This can be terrifying, but it is also liberating. In this space, they discover their strengths, their weaknesses, their passions, and their purpose. They come to understand that their worth is not defined by how many friends they have, how many people approve of them, or whether they are in a relationship. Their worth is inherent, given to them by the divine, and no amount of rejection or isolation can take that away. This realization becomes the foundation on which they build their destiny, a foundation that can never be shaken because it was forged in the fire of solitude. One of the most painful truths that chosen ones come to realize is that true connections are rare, and the reason for this is because very few people are able to align with their higher calling, their frequency, and their purpose. It is not that they are incapable of love, friendship, or loyalty. In fact, chosen ones carry some of the deepest capacity for these things, but because of the energy they embody and the mission that governs their lives, only certain individuals can truly walk with them. Most people who enter their lives may connect for a time, but eventually the misalignment reveals itself and the connection fades away. This constant cycle often makes them feel as though they are destined to be alone, but the truth is that they are destined to be connected only to those who are able to meet them on the same wavelength. When a person carries a higher frequency, it is like a radio tuned to a rare station. Not every receiver can catch that signal. Most people are tuned to different frequencies of materialism, ego, shallow desires, and temporary pursuits. A chosen one is tuned to something higher, something eternal, something deeply spiritual. Because of this, when they try to form friendships or relationships with those who are not aligned, it feels like trying to connect with someone who speaks an entirely different language. They may care for them deeply. They may give their all, but the bond cannot hold because the foundation is not shared. This is why many of their relationships feel short-lived, one-sided, or fragile. A chosen one's presence is often intense, and their energy has a way of stirring up hidden truths in others. While some may be inspired by this, others feel threatened or uncomfortable. Most people prefer surface-level connections where they do not have to face their flaws, fears, or weaknesses. But being close to a chosen one makes it difficult to hide those things. Their aura acts like a mirror, reflecting back to people who they really are. Some cannot handle this, so they withdraw. This leaves the chosen one wondering why people leave so easily or why bonds that seem strong suddenly crumble. But the truth is that most people are not ready to stand face to face with their own truth, and being around a chosen one forces them to. Relationships for a chosen one are especially difficult because their expectations are not the same as the world's. They do not crave someone just for companionship or for convenience. They crave depth, loyalty, honesty, and alignment with purpose. They are not satisfied with shallow love or fleeting attraction. They long for something that feeds their soul and connects them on every level. This kind of connection is rare, and most people are not prepared for it. Many partners admire the chosen one's intensity at first, but later it becomes too much for them. They realize that being with someone who is destined requires growth, sacrifice, and responsibility, and not everyone is willing to rise to that challenge. As a result, the chosen one often experiences heartbreak, betrayal, or abandonment, not because they are unworthy of love, but because their love requires a level of maturity and alignment that most people cannot offer. Friendships are no different. A chosen one can be the most supportive, loyal, and giving friend, but they will still experience betrayal, jealousy, and envy. Their light naturally attracts people, but it also triggers insecurity. Friends may start off admiring their wisdom, strength, or resilience, but over time those same qualities can become the source of resentment. They begin to compare themselves, to feel inferior, or to believe that the chosen one has an unfair advantage. This leads to subtle competition, gossip, or even direct attacks. The chosen one, who only wanted to give love and loyalty, ends up abandoned or hurt once again. Through these experiences, they begin to understand that not everyone is meant to walk with them and that true friendships are not measured by how many people surround them but by the rare few who can truly stand beside them without fear or envy. Another reason true connections are rare for the chosen one is because of their vision. They see life differently, they dream bigger, they think deeper, and they plan with eternity in mind. Most people cannot understand this perspective, while others are satisfied with temporary pleasures or short-term success. The chosen one is thinking about legacy, impact, and destiny. This difference in perspective creates a natural divide. Conversations that others find exciting may bore the chosen one because they crave depth and substance. Activities that others enjoy may feel meaningless to them because they are focused on higher pursuits. This difference makes it difficult to form long-lasting bonds because there is little common ground. It is not arrogance, it is simply that their minds and hearts are tuned to a different level, and only those who share that vision can truly connect with them. The divine calling on a chosen one's life also requires them to be careful about who they allow into their inner circle. Not everyone has pure intentions. Some are drawn to them for what they can gain, whether it be wisdom, energy, or blessings. Others are drawn to their light but secretly resent them for it. Still others come with hidden motives, pretending to care but actually seeking to drain or sabotage them. Because of this, chosen ones must constantly discern who is genuine and who is not, which often leads them to keep their circle very small. They would rather walk alone than risk being surrounded by people who secretly work against them. This cautiousness may look like distance to others, but it is simply protection of their energy and purpose. Over time, chosen ones begin to realize that quality is far more important than quantity when it comes to connections. They may have only one true friend or no friends at all for long seasons, but that one true friend is worth more than a crowd of false ones. They may remain single for years, waiting for the right partner, but when that partner comes, The bond will be unshakable because it is rooted in destiny, not convenience. Their path teaches them to value authenticity over appearance, depth over surface, and truth over comfort. While the world chases after popularity, status, and shallow bonds, the chosen one seeks the rare souls who can truly align with them and walk the journey with them. The rarity of true connections also teaches the chosen one self-reliance and self-love. They learn that they do not need the validation of others to feel complete. They discover that their worth is not tied to how many people surround them but to who they are at their core. They come to embrace solitude as a place of strength rather than weakness. In this process, they become whole within themselves, no longer desperate for approval or desperate for love. This wholeness makes them even more powerful because when the right connections finally come, they are not coming from a place of need but from a place of abundance. They do not attach out of desperation but out of alignment, and that makes their bonds unbreakable. Another layer to this truth is that chosen ones are often ahead of their time. They may see things years before others do, understand concepts long before the crowd, or be drawn to spiritual truths that others are not yet ready for. This forward-thinking nature isolates them because most people cannot yet understand what they see. They may be mocked, dismissed, or ignored, only to be recognized later when their vision comes to pass. But in those early stages, they must walk alone, carrying truths that no one else around them is ready to embrace. This is part of why true connections are so rare for them, because very few can walk at the pace of someone who is already steps ahead in vision and understanding. The loneliness that comes with this reality can be heavy, but it is also purposeful. It ensures that when the right connections come, they are treasured deeply. The chosen one will never take a true friend or a true partner for granted because they know the pain of betrayal, abandonment, and false bonds. They value authenticity so highly that when they find it, they protect it fiercely. This is why when a chosen one finally connects with someone who truly understands them, the bond feels sacred, unbreakable, and divine. It is rare not because they are unworthy of love or friendship but because their spirit refuses to settle for anything less than what is aligned with their destiny. The rarity of true connections also serves as confirmation of their uniqueness. If everyone could connect with them, if everyone could understand them, if everyone could walk with them, they would not be set apart. Their calling demands that they be different, and difference naturally creates distance. This does not mean they are destined to be lonely forever but that their connections will always be few, rare, and precious. The chosen one must learn to embrace this truth and see it not as a curse but as evidence of their calling. In the end, the loneliness of the chosen one is not a curse but a calling. It is the evidence that their path is different, that their destiny requires separation, and that their energy cannot be diluted by the wrong people. Being set apart means carrying a light that not everyone can handle. It means walking a road that not everyone can follow. And it means embracing solitude until those who are truly aligned find their way into your life. The isolation is preparation, the rejection is redirection, and the silence is shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. When the time is right, the connections that are truly for you will come, and they will be rare, pure, and unshakable. Until then, the solitude is your teacher, your shield, and your greatest proof that you are chosen. Thank you so much for giving me your time, your attention, and your presence today. May these words remind you of your strength, affirm your uniqueness, and give you peace in knowing that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. To all the chosen ones listening, never forget who you are, never doubt the path you walk, and never lose faith in the purpose you carry. I appreciate you deeply, I honor your journey, and I pray that you continue to walk with courage, wisdom, and unwavering faith. Goodbye for now, and thank you once again.